Hi, in this video I will show you how to download the registers and list from MPI website. First we go to the MPI website and we put MPI mpi.govt.nz and hit enter, and now we look for the food safety registers and lists. So this is where, and now Control F and search for further to take us to the list where all the lists are included. So we click on this one. Click search. And scroll down to the end of the page. You will see download results and a total of record 6,375 record. Unfortunately, there is no link address so that we can make it similar to use it to create a dynamic list, similar to what I did in my previous video on creating dynamic list for approved chemical compound. But in this way, in this case, in this one, we're gonna use the folder path method, similar to the way that I used it in my previous video on transitional facility. So please refer to those two videos to get more information, because in this video I will not go in details, just to show you the steps, because the rest you can't see them. The more details you can find them in my previous two videos, one on dynamic register and one for the transitional facility. So with this one, we're gonna click on download results. This is the only option we have, and then we create a folder for this, a new folder, and we call it APA sites, Animal Product Act sites. So this is a new folder, and we save this document in it. So now this document is saved in, this is the location of the document, and we need the path for this, the folder where this document is sitting. So we go back a step, and this is the folder, and then we copy the path from here, copy path, and now we paste this into a new spreadsheet, paste, and then we create a table for that. Animal Product Act Food Safety sites. Now we create table. So click table, and we need to tick my table has headers. Yes. So this is, we create a table. This table is, from this table we create a query. So we go data and click from table. This is table. And now we try to pull the data from the folder by putting this code, folder dot files, and then at the end we could put curly brackets 0, and then square brackets APA FS sites, which is the same wording as this one. Copy and paste, and then we close the bracket and we hit enter. So this is the folder. All what we need to do is to click binary. This bring you all the table. So you will see we need to promote the header. The way to do it is by clicking on this use first row. And then we click detect data type. So it convert all these. If there is a date, it should convert it into date format, but no, still we need to change this one to date and change this one to date. And then we click, because we're gonna use this table to create a map or to map it. So we go to the address and we duplicate it, duplicate, and then we duplicate the city as well to create address compatible with the 3D map and Google Map. So duplicate, and now we need a column for the country, and this one, country, and what the country is in New Zealand. And we click OK. Now we need to combine them or merge them into one column. And the separator is customized, which is comma space, and then we call this one full address. We go OK. So now we got full address for this one. Now we can download this into a table. So we go home and then close and load, and then we go and select table in a new worksheet. And I already downloaded it to save time. So we go table, and this is the table, and I created, there are 2 or 3 ways where you can find the, or to filter the required registers and lists. For example, if you're looking for operators operating under risk management program, you can click on risk management program. So it will bring you all the, and then from this section there is intended use, product details or market or material, and whether it is a primary or secondary. So for example, we need to know the slaughterhouses. So click here and we put slaughter. So we got three, this one, and this one. So these are all the slaughter premises. With their addresses. So this is one way of finding the list, and you can of course you can slicer for the city. For example, you need to know in Ashburton what premises. So in Ashburton there are two slaughterhouses and other secondary processor and so on. So you can combine. So you can and take this one and take this one. So this is one way of creating a list, to select which list that you are interested. So these are the whole lists. Now the other way is creating a pivot table from this table by going insert and this from table, and you create this one. So this is the table or the pivot table, and you can see the list, field list. We put 2 for filter, which is risk measure, physical town city, and some essential information on each one, on each premise, like name, address, whether they have ULI or it is a business, and the verification agency. So these are the minimal information. Of course, you can add more if you like from this field list. You can add more. As many as you like. So once we created the filter, we can put them each list in a separate sheet. The way doing that is click inside the pivot and click here, the pivot table analyze, and then go to options and go show report filter pages. Because we got two filters, you select, you need to risk management type. But if you go, you need city, of course you can do. But at this time we're trying to show you that you can put each list in a separate sheet. So only by clicking on this one, you will see that now you can see that all, like if you look for the animal material depot, this is only animal material depot. if you need animal product or beekeeper, this is for the beekeeper. And you can see export approved premises. Of course, you can add slicer for the city. So now, for example, for Cambridge, it tells you that there are only 2 export approved premise, and you can't tell. Yeah, and so on. So this is the way, and there is, if you want to, of course, if you go back to the table, we can use map it as well to see the location of this. So by clicking map it, it will take you to the address on Google Map. So this is the premise. And or you can use the 3D map data, and you can see, you can select full address from the field, full address. You click full address, and then opposite to it also you need to select full address. So this is now on a 3D map, and when you hover over one of the spots, it will tell you some information on this location, and you can just adjust the information by adding more field to it. And of course you can put map labels that show you, and it is, of course, this is a 3D map. You can, yeah, so this is there. So now there are 2 ways of mapping the sites, and I showed you 2 ways of filtering the list for each group of premises. Now we can do some statistics to show verification agency what are the sectors and how many for each sectors. All these, it doesn't need verification. All these sectors doesn't require verification by a verification agency. However, you can see animal material depot and other sectors. These are the sectors that require verification by a verification agency. So MPI has got 103 or 1000, about 1000 risk management program, and you can compare it with the Azure quality, and there are other verification agencies and what sector this agency covers. So this is one of them, and then we can see what are the lists that we are looking for included in this downloaded list. So you can see these are all the registers and lists, and a total of 6,375 operator. Of course, you can go and select city, and it tell you this is what we have in this city, and so on. And you, of course, you can add more slicers. Thank you.